All right, let's talk about .NET. .NET is a language, Microsoft's competitor to Java. It's very popular at big enterprises because I'm told, I know it makes it much easier to write code, and I've been told it makes it much easier to organize code across large projects. But it does have the bizarre property that the code you distribute essentially contains the source code, which is also true of Java. So you need Visual Studio, and there are free versions. This is 2019. By the way, I wrote the project using the newer 2022 version right here, C#.NET, but my machine had the older version installed, and this ED330A, if you get rid of the A, you'll get the instructions for the 2019 version. So you can have either version you like. But for students who haven't already been using Visual Studio, the one they can get is 2022. So I updated the instructions. But it's very similar, it just looks a little different. So you install the .NET features, and you see them here. Then you'll have the opportunity to create .NET applications. And what I want is a console application. Which I thought would be at the top. Let me go back here. I'm looking for console application in .NET. And wonder if I can, console, that might thin the crowd a little. There, console application .NET framework. That's what I want. And next. And I'll set up the default name, and it will create it for me. All right. I think it's still working. Yep. Yep, creating project, okay. Project creation successful. Well, didn't create very much, did it? I may not be able to demonstrate anything with this thing. It does not seem to be working very well at all. It should have filled this with some code. Module 1, it's doesn't look right at all. See if I can start it. Build process. Exited with code 0, but it doesn't have any code in it at all, which doesn't make any sense at all. I must have done something wrong. I'm going to give it one more try, and then I'm going to cancel this and let's try file. Let's see, close this one. All right, one more try. It was better than that when I tried it a few minutes ago. Visual Studio 2019. Maybe it's just not working very well. Create a new project. Console application that can run on .NET Core. That's what I want. All platforms, okay. Actually, I'd like to use C#, but I don't think I need to choose that here. Console app, C#. Maybe this is the problem. Next. It didn't ask me this before, and it should have. Target framework, this is fine, then create. Okay. Now it's done it. Now it has created a Hello World application by filling in the code. Okay. And now, is it ready? I think it's ready, yeah. Now I hit this to run it. And it did a build, and there it opens a window, and it should print Hello World, and it does. And now press any key to close this window. That's what I want to see. It made a working .NET application. Okay. Now I can put some better code inside there. Let's see if I can press a key to close that. All right. Now, to put the code inside there, I've got to open my instructions inside here because I don't have the ability to copy and paste into this local cloud machine. So let's get the instructions here. All right. Exploit development. C#.net. And I'm going to get rid of the A to make sure I've got the 2019 instructions, although they aren't really that different than the 2022 instructions. All right. Now, all I did that for was to get this text so I don't have to copy it. Copy. All right. And now .NET. I put that in here instead of this console write line command. All right. So that creates a string and it reads something from the user and then echoes it back. So I think I want to just run that one. Yep. All right. Now it's waiting. So I put in a string of 6 A's. Okay. And press enter, and it just repeats back, you said A, and that's fine. All right. Now, C would have crashed with a buffer overflow. I put in, oh, by the way, now I can try running it. Let's press again. So let's try making it crash. I'm going to run it again and put in a whole lot of A's. Kind of thing we were just doing in C code on Linux and also on Windows with that fuzz program. So I'm going to put in a whole lot of A's. And it doesn't have any problem. It just repeats it back. So .NET is like Rust or Visual Basic. It is smart enough not to fall for this. All right. You can, however, write a program that is unsafe in .NET. You have to use the option unsafe code to do it, but you can lower .NET down to be as unsafe as C. And here's an example code that does that. So erase that stuff and put in this stuff. All right. And so, well, I see. I think I want to, that includes the namespace and everything. Okay, let me get rid of everything old and just put in the new stuff. There we go. All right. And so this defines a string, and here it has static unsafe void buffer overflow string, where it defines a pointer and then read stuff. And again, this is what allocates a space for only 10 and causes an overflow. So it is going to call the buffer overflow function. This is actually going to have the flaw we're used to. So let's run this one. There were build errors. Unsafe code may appear. Yes. And I wonder if I have to do something to tell it I'm going to use unsafe code. Let me check my instructions. Yes, you have to allow it, which is more showing you how secure it is. So you have to do project console one properties. Okay. And in the console app properties, on the left side, click the build tab. And on the right, there is an allow unsafe code box, and there it is. So they really make it hard to do this. You have to work hard. Now, I wonder if I have to hit save somewhere. It's looking like I don't. All right. Let's just hit console app again. Yep, good. Okay, now it's compiled again. And now if I put in a whole lot of A's, I get the same crash message that I got from, say, vuln server and so on. So you have to work that hard to make a buffer overflow with .NET, which is, of course, good. It's being a more modern thing. But anyway, now the next thing, to see more about how .NET works, I want to make a Windows form. So let's have a new project. And this will be Windows Form App.NET. So I don't know if I can choose Windows Form App. It looks like I cannot. All right. Windows Form App.NET. All right. Oh, I think the problem is I didn't choose. I had a problem with core, but Windows Form App.NET Framework. That's what I want. Now next. Now create. There we go. Now I get a graphical app. Okay, a box appears with an empty form window. All right, now I can add controls with View Toolbox. Toolbox. There. Now I can put things in the form. Okay, and so I want to drag a label. Probably in common controls, label. Okay, let's put a label in here and call this password. Okay, good. Oh, there. I kind of like to fix my spelling mistake, but it might be too irritating to do. Yeah, here it is. The text is down here, so I can get rid of that. Good. All right. And I might even be able to make it bigger. Font, Microsoft. Let's drag this out and make it bigger so people can see it. Microsoft Sans Serif. Expand the font. There we are. Now I can change the size to like 14. There we go. Now you can see it. All right. Now I want to put a text box control. All right. Which is here. All right. And put a button in there. All right. Now sort of like it'd be lined up like this. All right. And the button is going to be enter. So I want this to say enter. And I should be able to adjust it. Button should be text somewhere. There. This is my enter button. So I'm just making a password login form is all I'm doing. All right. Now, I got that. Now I want to enter code for the button. So I double click the enter button to give it code. All right. And I want to add this code, which I'll copy from the instructions. This will just see if it's top secret. If it's top secret, then the password is correct. Otherwise, it will print fail. And that goes in here where my pointer is. There. All right. Now we'll see if that will run. Looks like it's working. So if I give it a password of like AA and enter, it says fail. But if I give it a password of top secret, then I win. All right, so it is operating as expected. Now, I want to find my app. In the lower left, I can scroll up in the output window. I think I maybe have to close this. Here's the output window. I can find my app by scrolling up here. Let's get rid of the toolbox. It puts the app somewhere deep in the folder structure. And it looks like for some reason, it doesn't let me scroll back to find out where it's put it, but I can probably figure it out. It's your source repos and so on. Let me see if I can find it, because I want to find my exe. So it's C Windows Administrator source. So I want to go to say, all right, let's do it this way. I never know how to get above the desktop on Windows systems anymore. C users, student. Okay, and there should be a source folder, or maybe it's going to be in this .NET. No, here it is, source. Okay, source, repos. Okay, and that was form app console application. What is the name of this thing? Windows Form App 1. Ah, there it is, Windows Form App 1. Good, all right. And so it's going to be Windows Form App 1 bin debug. There, and there is the exe file. So I'm going to copy that and put it on my desktop. All right. Now I should be able to close all this nonsense and run it directly. All right. And it just runs like that and has the usual. So your little graphical application runs in .NET. All right. So that's as far as I wanted to go on this one. You can see how to make a .NET application. And now that we've got one, next we're going to reverse engineer it, and you'll see the fatal insecurities of these things.